Happy Fragrant Friday, fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new... take two of a review. You got it wrong. I say that because I just did this whole review indeed in one take. And just like many of the most recent episodes, there was a glitch and it did not record. And so I had to do, here again, take two of this episode. But that just means I get to spend more time with you guys. So I thoroughly enjoyed that after the 2-minute tirade of foul language. I hope you are doing well. My name is Ben. This is That Cologne Guy. And I have new content for you every single Friday. You have seen the title and you have seen the description, so of course you know that this is Patrick by the Fragrances of Ireland. I'll be talking about the house and the presentation and the name in a little bit, but I wanted to give just a quick personal background on this fragrance. Many moons ago, I contacted these guys and I was interested in this fragrance. It's been on my radar for quite some time. And this was early 2000s. This is a 1999 release and it is an amber fougere. And it is, by the way, a cologne. And so one thing I'll be talking about is, of course, the percentage of fragrance and alcohol. This is a cologne, so it's not an EDT or an EDP. But I contacted them. They immediately responded back, and then they because I had just a general question, and then they said something like, "Trust us, you will really, really like this fragrance." And that made a good impression on me. Plus, here in the States, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but here in the States, at least, this house is known as kind of like when you go to gift shops. They have one called, it's either Innis or Innis. It's INIS. And they have a lot of hand soap, gels, things of that nature. And that's kind of their main product. And so Patrick kind of flies under the radar, at least here in the States. So I have been very curious about this fragrance for a super, super long time. And it was finally time to purchase this fragrance. I'm really glad I did. I don't do too many blind buys. But this one was $40, and I got it at Celtic Clothing Company. I can provide the link down below, and that was I did have a positive purchasing experience with them. So I got it through them, and again, $40 for a 100 milliliter, 3.3 ounce they list. So let's talk a little bit about the presentation first and foremost. The first thing you see is some Celtic art. And yes, I'll be talking about that. You see some Celtic art here, and then I don't know if you can see, it looks almost like it's like an alligator skin box, but on closer review, you can see that is part of a book. Those are words. And then here it says here, inspired by Ireland's patron saint who arrived on Irish shores in the 5th century AD, Our Patrick design is based on the Book of Kells, an iconic example of Celtic art. They go on to say a classic Irish men's fragrance, favorite for over 30 years, the rich masculine scent of Patrick is both earthy and green, with fresh notes of fern and pine, warmed with oak moss and patchouli. There's a lot going on in this box. I found out in one of my reviews that you guys actually keep your boxes, quite a bit of you. I usually recycle them because I don't usually swap. But I have to tell you, I'm going to have a hard time recycling this one. I actually feel like I want to keep this. I like the fact that it says made in Ireland. It also says not tested on animals, and then it's paraben free. So there's a lot of good going on. They also put, the first thing you see when you open is they put their website. So I also like that touch, and it's also listed on the side. The box has the batch code, but because it's an independent, smaller house, I was not able to find the batch, and I was also apparently not able to really open this box very well. So this is listed right there, and that is 119L. And I did, like I said, on the batch checkers online, I was not able to find the batch just because it is a small independent house. But for those of you checking, it is 119L is the batch. The bottle itself has the same design as the box, only without color on the front. It says Patrick. And then, of course, as I told you earlier, this is a cologne spray. Now, I'll go ahead and put that now, actually, up here in post. It's in terms of percentage of fragrance, you're looking at parfum, eau de parfum, eau de toilette, and then down on the line to cologne, and then eau fraiche is the lightest. So with eau fraiche, you're looking at something like a 2-hour max. And you would expect something like 2 to 4 to 5 hours when it comes to a cologne. So I'll just tell you now that I'm not going to dock a spray in terms of the longevity because they are listing this as a cologne. It is a cologne, and so the fact that I might not get more than 6 hours longevity is okay with me. They also list the batch number there. There it is again for you on the very bottom, and then on the back it says Fragrances of Ireland, Kilmacanogue County, and it's either Wicklow or Wicklow. I'm going to go with Wicklow, Ireland, and then that is, there you go. There you can see the back. So quite nice indeed. One thing, in fact, you know what? Maybe I'm an optimist at heart because I'm glad I had to redo this episode because I did not show off the atomizer. The atomizer is quite good indeed. I'll give you guys a spray. So you can see it emits quite a bit, and so all good news so far. When it comes to the house itself, I'm going to put up a screenshot from their website of the actual house. It is a farmhouse. In fact, they say that, and I'm going to read from their website, but that's the picture there for you to check out. It says, "We are a family-owned boutique perfumery, and Innis, or Innis, I think it's Innis, the energy of the sea is our signature collection. Independent and passionate, we operate from a converted farmhouse in County Wicklow." They go on to say specifically about Patrick. Patrick Cologne is a rich and daring scent with fresh green notes of fern and pine, warmed with the woody notes of oak moss and patchouli. Refresh and revive with our sparkling scented bath products. Patrick is named in honor of Ireland's patron saint who arrived on Irish shores in the 4th century AD. The fragrance is inspired by his journeys across the length and breadth of the island, across the vast native forests that blanketed the landscape, the rich green pastures and rocky coasts. As he traveled, he brought new light and understanding to the people of Ireland. So unequivocally an Irish product. It's even made in Ireland. And I have a lot of good news here because first and foremost, though I've said I'm not a huge fan of the barbershop fragrances, I am a huge fan of Ireland. In fact, I'm a big fan of Connacht rugby, and so I enjoy watching rugby a lot. And Connacht is my team in Ireland. I also love Irish music, and then of course I love Guinness. But I mean, do we even have to say that? I mean, everybody loves Guinness. And then I have even better news for Bren and my other Irish viewers. I have no real connection to Ireland. I just simply love it for the sake of loving it. So I don't have any sort of ancestry that I know about anyway. I just love everything about the country, and except for the fact that I've never been there. So I'm going to have to go there one day. And so I wanted to point that out. Let me quickly say, too, one last time when it comes to the barbershop element fragrances, if I had to make a top 5, I would go ahead and tell you right now that this would make it into my top 5 all time. I actually really enjoy this fragrance. I enjoyed wearing it a lot this week, and I look forward because I bought the entire bottle. So let's talk nomenclature. We've talked about the name, so we know Patrick and where it came from. We've talked about the house, and then we talked about the fact that this is a cologne, or they say even a cologne spray. Let me quickly say, too, that in terms of, at least in the States, we make a distinction between the pronunciation for Celtic. If it refers to the Celts, the Celtic people, right, and their art and their literature and their religion, then we say Celtic. So if you notice on the back, I said, the Book of Kells, an iconic example of Celtic art. So you might say to yourself, okay, so why is he wearing this then? It's a little cheesy because he's wearing that an Irish jersey on the day that he's, and actually the soccer/football fans would know this is not in Ireland. This is actually in Scotland. So when you talk about teams, you usually say Celtic. So this team is Celtic in Scotland. And then if you talk about the basketball team in Boston, you say the Boston Celtics. You do not say the Celtics. And if you do, I secretly know you don't. So that's the distinction, at least for us. Usually if it's a sports team, then it's Celtic. And if it's referring to the Celts as a people, in their religion and their architecture, their literature, their art, then we use Celtic. So if you guys use different pronunciations, or if I'm incorrect or something, you can let me know. Let's get down to the notes. This is a linear fragrance. As I said, it's an amber fougere. Fougere means fern or fern-like in French. And so, of course, it has fern. But it also has a very strong pine element to it. In fact, for me personally, I think the pine outweighs the fern. That is just my take. Then it has just a nice touch that's not too much of carnation. If we get too much carnation in men's fragrances, I feel like we're going to go off to the old folks' home, and I'm happy to report in the mid notes that the carnation is toned down. It is present, but it's toned down, and then in the base notes it has oak moss. And so one thing I like about this fragrance is that it is green, it is fresh, and it's linear. And then instead of going the animalic route, like with castoreum and the kind of, the cat piss on 70s carpet smell that I don't like, for these vintage fragrances, it actually stays very airy, and it remains very light and fresh throughout. And I really like that about this fragrance, especially because I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the vintage barbershop anyway. I don't know that I would want to project a lot, especially with the ones with the animalic notes. It's just not my thing. This one actually goes the airy, fresh route, and I certainly appreciate it. Very nice touch, and I think it makes it more of an original release. It just adds to the initial blast. In fact, as I said, it is a linear scent. It's not going to change much. At least it certainly didn't over time on my skin. So those are the notes. That's really what we're looking at when it comes to the notes. And then I wanted to just quickly mention, some people on Fragrantica reviews mention that for them it has like an ash or a smoky quality to it. I just simply couldn't disagree more. To me, it doesn't at all. Maybe it's the patchouli that I'm not picking enough up, or that's what they're referring to when they talk about ash or smoke. I think it'd be a great fragrance for smokers, right? If they want to, if they're worried about nicotine smell, and so they want a fragrance to blend in with the nicotine on their clothes. I think this would be a great fragrance for that, but in itself, I don't think it has an ash or a smoky quality to it. In fact, as I said earlier, to me it's airy and fresh, just the opposite. I was very surprised by that, but many people noted that, and I wanted you to know that. If you've tried this fragrance, let me know if you feel like it's more on the airy side, or if you feel like it has some ash or smoke to it. So those are the notes. When it comes to longevity, projection, and sillage, I got 4 to 6 hours and really closer to 6 in terms of longevity. I'm very happy with that when it comes to this cologne. So certainly happy with that. And I didn't get a work shift out of it, but it's not an EDT, it's not an EDP, so I'm good. When it comes to the sillage, coming in and out of rooms and walking by people, you will get, well, let me just say projection, sorry. Projection is an arm's length away for the first 2 hours, and then from 2 to 6 it's going to stay relatively close to your skin. It does last well on clothes though, so like when I sprayed it and then the next morning if I picked up that shirt, you can easily smell that. So if you're not getting what you want on your skin, I would definitely recommend spraying on your clothes. So that'd be the 6 hour longevity, the projection up to the first 2 hours arm length, then 2 to 6 down closer to the skin, and then the sillage coming in out of rooms, walking by people. You will definitely get they will get a waft for the first 3 to 4 hours easily, and then from there on it'll be closer to the skin. It's a very nice out of the shower fresh fragrance anyway, so there's nothing wrong with that, because it will certainly draw people in again who like the fresh out of shower clean crisp style fragrances. This is right up their alley. So when it comes to age, this one is going to be this one is another good point about this. This is a mature fragrance that is not ready for the old folks home. Okay, this is not a grandpa-ish or grandma-ish fragrance. We're going to say this is a mature. So I'm going to go 40 and up. This is 40 and up on age, unless you like fougères. So if you like fougères, of course, any age, but really you're looking at a very refined, nice, gentleman's, mature fragrance that is vintage but doesn't smell dated. So there you have it. Now, when it comes to gender, this is a 95-5 split. So if we're looking at female, feminine, unisex, and masculine, this will be in the uber masculine category, and this is going to be 95% men, 5% women. As far as people who actually own this, have it, it's their signature scent. They wanted this fragrance. You're going to see this is a classic gentleman's scent. Okay, so with versatility and event, I'm going to say, again, if you like a fougere, if you like this smell, you will wear it anywhere. I mean, if we're going to call this an after shower fragrance, it's tough to say it's for the night and don't wear it to the office, right? Because you're getting ready for the day and you put this on. It is, after all, a barber shop style fragrance, and so it is perfect for the day. What I would say is if you work in an office where there are meetings with closed doors, you're working in close quarters, or if you're in an office a job that promotes a fragrance-free environment, I would say just be real careful there in that situation, because it is a fougere. They can overpower easily, and especially in the first 2 to 4 hours. But the fact that this is a cologne, it's a little bit more toned down, a little fresh, really works to its favor. So I would say, yeah, at your job, just make sure you're not wearing too much, if that is the case for you. And then, of course, it would work perfect for nighttime, romantic night in, romantic night out. I don't know if it's really a clubbing scent, but then again, you're probably not clubbing 40 and up. You never know, though. And if you do, wear Invictus, okay? Or 1 million. How's that? So that's the versatility. Now, the season for me would be, if I had to pinpoint it, I would say, of course, spring. Then I would go fall, and then I would have. It's really a split. I guess winter would be next, and then finally summer. I'm only saying that because the high climates can, the fougères can get a little cloying. Now, that said, though, some people, exactly because it smells like a fern, really, really appreciate that in the summer. So quite frankly, I'm just going to throw out arbitrarily the fall and spring. For me, I think it would do really nice in temperatures between 35 to 75 Fahrenheit. But really it comes down to the fact that the smell itself. If you like the fougere, you're going to wear this year round. I got it for $40. And I think I mentioned it earlier, but if I didn't, because this is my second take, I did get it at Celtic Clothing Company, and I will include their link below. But I got it for $40. Other people who got it in different stores online also said it was $40. It is a little hard to find, at least here in the States, as far as a store. And I think that's one reason why I put off buying it for so long, but I finally took the plunge, and I'm so glad that I did. When it comes to the rating, I flirted between a 4 and a 5 spray when it came to this, because I really enjoy this fragrance. And here's, I wanted to take off a spray because it doesn't last a full work shift, but the fact that it is a cologne, I'm going to honor that. I also like the fact that they specifically say they do not test on animals. It's a European product anyway, so they probably can't, but I like the fact that they state that. Well, actually, I should take that back. If a European company sells in China, they require that you test on animals. And so what that tells me, if they're saying not tested on animals, that they probably don't sell this product in China. Either way, though, I like the fact that it is the website focuses on finer ingredients. They're chemical free. I mean, the paraben free. Some of the harsh chemicals are avoided, if not all. And then finally, they explicitly state not tested on animals. Very nice touch there. I also like the artwork. In fact, I'm just going to tell you now, I'm keeping the box, okay, in case you were worried about that. So I'm going to go, I teetered between 4 and 5. I'm going to go 5 out of 5 sprays for Patrick by the fragrance from the Fragrances of Ireland. I'm going to go 1 on each wrist, 1 on each side of the neck. And just because this is probably the last time I'm going to be wearing this jersey, because I don't know if you noticed, like even the beer, like the company, the sponsor fell off this morning. It's got stains all over it. This is probably the end of the road, and I'm going to be retiring this kit or jersey, sad to say. So I'm going to go the 5th one right on Celtic, or yes, if you insist, right on Celtic. If you say Celtic, though, for the team, don't say that around their supporters, okay? Same here with the Boston Celtics. It just doesn't work, does it? Boom. 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 And, just kidding. Boom. All right, there you have it. Hopefully, take 2 of this episode. Really a fun one. You know, I'm happy that I finally got a hold of a barbershop fragrance that I truly enjoy. The one left I haven't tried yet is Acqua di Parma Colonia Club. So let me know if you can speak to that. Speaking of letting me know, always leave a comment. Just a reminder for you, if you don't have too much to say about this fragrance, let me know what your scent of the day is. And with that, I will bid adieu. I hope you are doing well, and always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Okay, so welcome to the bonus episode. I wanted to quickly say that, again, on Fragrantica, people said that this was a similar style to Paco Rabanne's Pour Homme. So in case you're wondering, and I was trying to think of if it smelled something along the lines of like Z14 by Halston. I really couldn't come up with a comparison. I still can't because I've never smelled Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, but I wanted to let you know that a lot of people have suggested that it is similar, not that it's a dupe or a copy, but that it is indeed similar to Paco Rabanne's Pour Homme. I just wanted to add that, a quick bonus feature, and hope you're doing well. I'll see you next week.